seconds.
All right.
All right. Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I will be your host for today. We couldn't be more excited to be bringing this event live to you today. Normally, we're doing this live in the classrooms across North America, so that's why it's so amazing through technology that we can continue providing these events for educators, parents, and students and beam them live right into your home. So we're having a blast doing these events. We have so many more to come. Today, we are so excited to be taking a virtual field trip to Costa Rica. So we are visiting the Toucan Rescue Ranch, where they focused on the care, rehabilitation, and release of national wildlife since 2004. The Toucan Rescue Ranch provides sanctuary while giving treatment, rehabilitation, and when possible, releasing animals back to their natural environment. They specialize in toucans, sloths, and owls. However, at any given time, they could have a large array of species, from weasels to porcupines, cats, kinkajous, parrots, and more. So we're really excited to have Daniel joining us live today. Just before I throw things over to Daniel, I want to remind everybody tuning in live on YouTube that you can interact directly with this event through something called Slido. So I have put the link to Slido back in the chat sidebar on the right. You'll see it there. And the event code to get in is Sloth. So you'll see a spot for the event code. Enter Sloth. You can enter this room, send in some questions in advance, upvote other people's questions, and then we're going to do some live quizzes throughout the event as well. So Daniel, it's so awesome to have you joining us live today. In advance of this meeting, I put out a little poll for our live groups about how cool they thought sloths were, and 86% of people gave them 5 stars. So I think we have a group that's pretty excited to hang out with some sloths today.
All right, guys. So, hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a biologist, and I work here in the Toucan Rescue Ranch. So, Toucan Rescue Ranch is an organization. It's a nonprofit organization. We focus on rescuing, rehabilitation, and rescue of many animals, like Joe was saying. Today, we're going to focus on sloths. Now, just a bit of a history, a background history. So Toucan Rescue Ranch was founded in 2004 by Leslie Howe. Leslie Howe is from the United States, and by Jorge Murillo. So at first, Toucan Rescue Ranch, as the name suggests, it was basically to rescue only toucans, but then it started to evolve, and we received Millie, the first sloth, in 2006. Now, Millie is a two-toe sloth. We're going to talk about him in detail in just a few minutes. And after Leslie did some research and found out about how to take care of sloths, we started to receive way more things, including owls, more toucans, parrots, as you can hear them in the background. We also have an otter and many other animals. Like I said, our main goal is to rehabilitate and to release them when possible. Sadly, there are some occasions where we can't release them at all. For example, in some occasions, some people shoot them on the wings in some raptors. Other times, people have parrots, as you can hear them, as pets for like 30 or 40 years. So they're pretty much used to humans. Now, we have a full equipped clinic and vets. So we have vets on site all the time, 24/7. And that clinic can help us a lot. So we do surgeries, we do amputations for some animals that get electrocuted, like sloths. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And thanks to that clinic, we can rehabilitate them and to release them back into the wild. Talking about releasing, we do have a release site. That release site is located in Sarapiquí. That's in the Caribbean side of the country. And what we do there is, although we release more things than just sloths, we track the sloths with tracking collars for 6 months. That way we make sure that they're surviving just fine in the wild, and we compare that behavior to the behavior of other wild sloths. Once the 6 months mark kicks in, then we take the collars out and we release them in the wild, and we just leave them on their own. Now I'm going to talk about these sloths right here. So these species of sloth that we're watching right now is the two-toe sloth. Now, although the official name is two-toed, in the ranch, we like to call them two-finger sloth. And it's because as you're gonna see, they have 3 toes on the back. So they have 3 toes on the back, but 2 fingers on the front. So that's the reason why we like to call them 2 fingers, because they're a bit easier for us to identify. Now, in Costa Rica, we have 2 species. So we have the 2-finger, that is this one that you're seeing right now, and the 3-finger that we're gonna see in a minute. The 3-finger sloths, they're the typical one with a smile and a mask. We're just gonna see them in a few minutes. Those are the ones that are pretty much in everywhere in advertisement. If you've seen Zootopia, the movie, the one in the DMV, taking forever, that is the 3-finger sloth. This one is a bit less known, but we definitely think that they're adorable. We can't deny that. Now, these sloths, they are omnivores. This means that they will eat from insects to lizards, to other birds' eggs, and obviously leaves. The 3-finger sloth, they mostly eat leaves, so they're herbivores. Now, these species, you can find them, like I said, in the Caribbean and Pacific, but also in the Central Valley. Right now, we're located in the center of the country, where it can be fairly cold. And these guys can tolerate those temperatures. Also, the 3-finger sloth, that is the one with the smile and the mask, they only live in lowland areas. That's it. Sorry. So these sloths, they come here for many reasons, but there are 3 main reasons. The first one is electrocution. So sometimes what happens is the moms, they get electrocuted from power lines. So the power lines in the country, they're sadly not isolated, so they get electrocuted. Sometimes the mom will survive, sometimes they won't. And then you find the babies by themselves on the ground. On other occasions, when they cross the road, they get hit by cars, and they also get attacked by dogs. We need to keep in mind that in Costa Rica, there are more than 1 million stray dogs going around, and they're considered an invasive species in the country. So these babies right here, we have Lala, Howie, and Gaspar. The 3 of them got here as orphans. So they're babies and they're around like 3 to 4 months old. Now, although sloths are really solitary, when they are in this type of a scenario, they like to be with each other. And it's because usually they're with a mom, but because the mom was not found or she got killed, then these babies like to be with each other so they can hug each other for comfort and for warmth. But as they're getting older, then is when we release them, and they start to get a bit more not that social to each other. When we receive them, they need to go through a whole process that it can take up to 2 years. And that process we like to call preschool, elementary, high school, university. These guys right here are in the elementary part of their journey. So they're around like a year and a half away from being released. What I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna put some leaves and flowers. So, let's see. All right. So over here we have poro. So this leaf right here is poro. It's quite common in the country. And we also have some flowers. So these flowers are viscous flowers. You can actually make really good tea with it. And these guys, they love it. So hopefully they will start climbing and then you will see them eating the flowers. Now, we're basically founded thanks to the support of many, many people. So it's thanks to tours that we're able to found ourselves. Now, it's thanks to the innovations how we can keep these animals healthy and release them into the wild. Let's see. Right. Now, regarding a bit with their sense of smell, now the sense of smell is quite good. Now, if you look at their eyes, it's not like our eyes are amazing, by the way. They don't see as much as we do. What they use the most is a sense of smell and hearing. So they can hear what's happening in the ranch. Just probably you can hear in the background, there's some geese going around and the parrots. And they can also smell some of the food, especially now the leaves. So you can see that that one is trying to reach. So probably you will need to take him a bit more to get to those leaves. And that's the idea, that in this structure that they are right now is for them to do some exercise. So that way, when we release them back into the wild, they will be already used to being on the trees, being on the branches. We also have different structures as well where we put them in real trees and that they swing with the wind. So that way they don't get scared whenever a branch moves. Like I said, it's a really slow process, but we can make sure that they're surviving just fine. Now, although they're adorable and everything, I must say that, yes, they're cute, but they're really aggressive, especially the adults. So these type of animals, they're not good as pets at all. And this is not only because they're aggressive, but also because they belong in the wild. So they're designed to be in the trees, they're designed to be in the rainforest, in not a house. Sadly, the sloths are becoming the new kittens of the new internet, which is good because it brings a lot of attention to conservation as well. But also, there are people that think that it's a good idea to have them, and sometimes when they do, they realize, nah, maybe it was not a good idea. So one time we received a sloth that it got rescued because there was someone that baby sloth, and that person bought it from a homeless man for like $40 or so. And 3 days later, she realized that, yeah, she made a mistake, and thankfully that sloth right now is being released with us. Let me see if I can move this a bit closer to that. There you go. All right, Joe. I think that we can start if you want to with the questions.
All right, that sounds like a plan to me, Daniel. Thanks so much for that awesome little intro and getting to see some of these amazing sloths. It's so awesome to see them up close and personal. I've posted the link one more time in the chat sidebar if you want to join us via Slido to send in some questions there, as well as take part in some live quizzes we're going to mix in during the event. And the link posted properly this time, so you should be able to find it. So Daniel, as I mentioned earlier, we had a poll open to asking everybody how cool they thought sloths were, and we were up to 94% gave them 5 stars, 6% gave them 4. Pretty excited to be hanging out with the sloths. And in fact, I am going to open up one more new poll question now that the audience can participate in. This one is a question about sloth scientific name. So their scientific name is Bradypus. What does that mean in Latin? I just opened up the poll, and we'll check in a minute or two. No cheating on Google. And let's see what our audience thinks. But for now, let's go to our very first question. I'm going to take one from the Slido room to start. And Pam is wondering, how many sloths do you have at the sanctuary right now?
All right, that's a great question. So right now, we have around 30 sloths. This include from babies like this ones, but also we have adults being released. So 30 sloths, including the ones in our release site in the Caribbean side.
All right, very cool. So I'm going to slide over back to our YouTube, and I'm going to pull some questions off of the YouTube now. Looks like Max, he's 6. Max had that same question about the sloths as well, so that's awesome. Let's start with this one here. There we go. So another person is wondering about the age of the sloths. What is the oldest sloth that you currently have?
All right. So the oldest sloth that we have right now, that will be Millie. Now, like I said, Millie, she was rescued in 2007. So that means that she's around 13 years old. As a follow on that, their lifespan can be between these species, though, between 20 to 30 years. So Millie is young, really young, and these guys are only a few months old, between 3 to 4 months old.
All right, very cool. And so if you are curious about the lifespan of sloths, Daniel, what's the average lifespan of a sloth?
So with the sloths, with this species, is between 20 to 30 years. And the three-toed sloth is between 15 to 20 years. So the other species, they live a bit less than this species.
All right. So checking back in on that poll question, what does the scientific name mean in Latin? So I gave a few options. 25% thought it was slow monkey, 25% thought upside down animal, 13% sleepy cat, and 38% said slow feet. So congratulations to the 38% who rolled with slow feet. That's awesome. I'm going to open up another poll question now. This one is Costa Rica the only country where you can find sloths? So check that one out and let's see what everybody thinks. Again, no cheating via Google. All right, back to another question. Sarah's group is hanging out with us, Daniel, and they're wondering, this is Zoe, and she's wondering how many babies a sloth can have at a time.
All right, that's a great question. So a sloth normally has only one, but sometimes it can actually have two. And if that happens, that will mean that they're probably twins. Now, although sometimes they can have two, having two babies for a sloth is a really high risk. So yeah, usually only one. And they will stay on the mom, like on the belly or on the back, for around a year or so.
All right, very cool. So I want to take a minute now to post a link. This link will take you to the Toucan Rescue Ranch website where you can dive a little bit deeper and find out more. And then, of course, all the amazing work that the Toucan Rescue Ranch does, the vast majority comes from donations. And at a time right now where a lot of people, tourism isn't happening, it's really important that those donations keep coming so that the sloths and other native wildlife can still be protected, food and medicine and all that kind of thing. So consider making one of those donations to the Toucan Rescue Ranch if you can. I shared the link there, toucanrescueranch.org. It would be awesome to see a few groups help out with the rescue ranch. All right, let's jump back into a next question here. Matthew Johnson is wondering about the weight of an adult sloth. So maybe let's go with the two-fingered. How heavy can they get?
Yeah, all right. So these species, the two-fingered, that is the one that we're watching right now, they can weigh up to 20 pounds. Now, that's average, but most of this weight is what we call is what we call a dead weight. This means that because they go to the bathroom only once a week, they hold a lot of pee and pee. So yeah, the average weight it would be 20 pounds.
All right, very cool. Checking in on our Slido poll question, we could not fool anybody. 100% said no, Costa Rica is not the only country where you can find sloths. Daniel, what are a few other countries you can find sloths in?
All right, so you can find way more species in South America. For example, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, also Panama. Actually, in Panama, there's an island where they have a species, only one species in that island that is called the pygmy sloth. They're really small compared to these guys when they're adult. So yeah, there's many other countries that have it, but most in the Americas, yeah.
All right, awesome. So in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to open up a little quiz, and this will be a 4-question quiz. Each question's timed, and then we'll have a little competition, see who's going to be on the leaderboard for this little sloth quiz that we're going to do. But in the meantime, we'll do a few more live questions. So Daniel, Kendra is wondering, how common are sloths in urban areas of the country? And this actually came from Anna, who's with Kendra.
All right, so they're fairly common. Now, obviously, they're not as common as, for example, like raccoons or the mammals, but in some occasions, they can actually go into people's houses. And it's because sometimes the population can be so great that they will go into someone's house to try to look for food. Obviously, they're way more common in not urban areas, but in the middle of the city, more than one time, we have rescue sloths, so they are in the power lines, for example, because there's so many of them, and the city is so vast, and the power lines are right there. So yeah, they're fairly common in the city. Well, depending on the part of the city, but yeah.
Awesome. We've got Max and Amelia, age 8 and 6, joining in with us, and they're wondering about the youngest sloth currently at the rescue ranch.
All right, so if I'm not wrong, the current youngest sloth that we have is around like a month old. This always changes though, because sometimes we can receive premature babies. So these are babies are born way before the time, so they can be even minus. So minus like a week or minus like 2 weeks old. So yeah.
All right, awesome. I'm going to jump back into the Slido room, and we have some more questions being upvoted in here. Oh, I like this one. Alan is wondering, do the sloths ever go down to the ground?
Yes, that's a great question. They do, but they don't go too often. They go only once a week, and sometimes only every 2 weeks. The only or the main reason why they will go to the ground is to poo and to pee. So they don't poo or pee on the trees. Instead they go to the base of the tree. They hug the tree, they do like a belly dance, and then they poo. Now that is the most common reason why they will go to the ground. In some occasions, they can go to the ground, for example, to cross a road, especially in deforested areas. But yeah, they mostly stay on the trees. They rarely go on the ground.
All right, so we've got Ewan tuning in, and Ewan is wondering if there's any sloth species that are endangered.
So that's a tricky question. There is an organization that is called the UCN. The UCN is the organization that classifies the animals as endangered, critically endangered, or extinct. These species, for example, they're considered least concern, but we believe that they are endangered, and it's because there's a lot of threats in the wild, not only from humans but also from predators. So although they're officially classified as least concern, we think as the rescue center that they are endangered. So that would be the two-fingered sloth and the three-fingered sloth in Costa Rica, at least.
All right. Let's see. Let's put you to the test, Daniel. You've seen the sloths moving around. Ethan in Boston would like to know, how long would it take a sloth to travel 10 meters?
All right. So in 10 meters, they can basically take like 5 seconds. Well, yeah, like 20 seconds. We have something that we call the South Ironman games, where we test them how fast they can get, and they can win like a prize. Prize will be a flower. So they can go 10 meters for like 20 seconds or so. I know that sloths, most of them are slow, but these species, they can be fast if they need to be.
All right, so it's a selective slow movement, at least for this species.
At least for this species, yeah. The three-fingered sloth, yeah, that's the one that is really slow moving, and they would take a bit more to move those 10 meters, yeah.
All right, very cool. Well, Daniel, I think it's time to try and do a little timed quiz with our audience and see how they do. So I am just going to pin the video on your screen, because I think they'd much rather watch the sloths than me reading the quiz. So should be pinned on your screen now. I'm heading over to the quiz. So anybody who's signed into Slido with the meeting name, the quiz is going to start now. So here we go. You should see the questions pop up now. You just have to join in to the quiz, just waiting to see the participants climb. So I'm going to give it just a minute. Let people start to enter the quiz. Oh, there, I see people jumping in. Good. We'll give it another 30 seconds. In that 30 seconds, Daniel, let's do one more question here. All right. Here we go. So, baby sloths. Is there a time of year when they're usually born? This is coming from Juliana.
That's a really good question, but no. Now, we receive baby sloths, meaning they're born every single month of the year. So no, there's not a specific time. Now, but there is an occasion where we receive a lot of premature babies, especially during the dry season. We think that we receive more babies in the dry season because there's not a lot of leaves on the trees, so the moms will give birth before their time. But no, they basically can be born in any time of the year compared to toucans, for example. The toucans, they'll have a really established season.
All right. Well, here we go. I see lots of participants jumped into the quiz. I'm going to start the quiz. Remember that it's 20 seconds for each question, but the faster you answer, the higher you're going to end up on the leaderboard. So here we go. First question up. How many species of sloth are there? So it's up right now. Your options are 4, 6, 8, or sloths aren't real. So we'll give just a minute to see the answers coming in. Things are changing. Things are happening. Time is running out. All right, that is the first question completed. 58% of people went with 6 species, and that is the correct answer. Awesome, good work, everybody. Here comes our next question. I'm gonna pop it up now. Sloths are arboreal, which means their habitat is made up of, and your options are soil, water, trees and branches, or bowling alleys. Let's see if we can take care of that. No one's picking bowling alleys yet. I'm a little bit surprised. All right, time is up. 100% went with trees and branches. Good work, everybody. Next question's popping up in our little quiz. Why would sloths come down from a tree? So this was 100% answered by Daniel during the event today. Let's see how we do. We gave a few options to go poop, to hunt for insects, to go for a stroll, or to grab McDonald's takeout. So let's see what happens here. Last couple of seconds. Nobody went for McDonald's. A few went for a stroll or insects, but 87% went for going for a poop. And our last question for this quiz is now open. How much faster can sloths swim compared to walking? So Daniel, while this question is being answered, can you tell us a little bit about sloths swimming?
Yes, so sloths are actually really good swimmers. They can swim quite fast. I'm not gonna say the answer though. But yeah, they're really great swimmers. And the reason why they're really good swimmers is because they live in the rainforest. And you need to think about the rainforest, not only about the trees, but also there's a lot of rivers that cross this amazing ecosystem. So they need to be able to swim in order to cross the rivers.
All right, very cool. I gave a few options, same, twice as fast, 3 times as fast, or it's a trick question, they sink like a stone. And the right answer that I found online was 3 times faster, and 14% of people chose 3 times faster. So very cool. And let's take a look at our leaderboard. Here we go. All right, wow. 4 out of 4 in 55 seconds. We have Turtle Trio is number 1. Number 2 was Athena and Zoe with 3 out of 4 points at 38 seconds, so pretty fast. And then number 3 was Linda, 3 out of 4 at 42 seconds. Awesome work, everybody. So exciting to have you take part in that live quiz. It's the first time we've tried one. It was pretty cool. And we're going to have one more little quiz question at the end. But Daniel, let's grab another question or two before we're out of time today. Let's see. All right. So someone is wondering about how long sloths stay with their mothers in the wild.
All right. So the moms, the babies, they will stay with the mom 2 years. So they will stay with the mom, like on the mom, like on the belly or on the back for a year. And then they will stay around the mom for another year. So it will be a total of 2 years.
All right, perfect. Heading over to YouTube for another question here. Let's see what our most recent question is. Okay, I like this one. What about some predators of the sloths? What kind of natural predators do they have?
All right, so in Costa Rica, though, the main predator of the sloth is the ocelot. So the ocelot is like a jaguar, but a bit smaller. The ocelot is the 3rd biggest species of wildcat in the country. In other places of the world, and it used to be in Costa Rica before that species went almost extinct in the country, it used to be the harpy eagle. The harpy eagle is the biggest eagle in the world. There are other minor predators like snakes as well, but yeah, most of them is the ocelot and eagles.
All right, very cool. Well, I hope everyone's having a blast so far tuning into our event from Toucan Rescue Ranch. We're going to do a few more questions before we wrap up today, but I want to remind everybody that through Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, we are running sometimes 8 live events a day with scientists, explorers, adventurers, and conservationists all over the world. We're visiting all sorts of zoos and aquariums and animal rehabilitation centers. So if you use the link I just posted in the chat sidebar, you can find the whole list of events coming up. Mark them on your calendars. And of course, we'd love to see your groups tuning in live. But let's go for another question. This question, Daniel, is about, oh, where did it go? It just slid off my screen. There we go. Brianna is wondering about the fully grown adult sloth. I don't know if we've tackled that yet.
Can you repeat that question? Sorry, it kind of like cut off.
Yep, the length of a fully grown adult sloth. How long can they get?
All right. So, sorry, so these guys, they don't get too long. For example, no more than a meter long. Well, no, actually, no. Just that would be like around 60 centimeters, no longer than this. They're mostly really small compared to if we're talking about length.
All right. So Daniel, I can hear lots of noise in the background. There's obviously other animals at the ranch. Sarah's group wants to know what other kinds of animals do you have right now?
All right, so we have many other animals that we rescue. Probably the ones that we're hearing the most right now in the background are the parrots. We receive a lot of parrots, but we also have owls. We have an otter, we have monkeys, toucans, 5 of the 6 species that we have in the country. We also have a tara that is kind of like a weasel, porcupines, opossums, many other animals that we rescue, yeah.
All right, very cool. So Kendra's curious about you, Daniel. How did you get involved at the Toucan Rescue Ranch?
All right, so I started to work here in 2016. I started as a volunteer. And I'm a biologist, so I was studying biology at the time. I was getting my degree, fell in love with this place, and I haven't left ever since.
All right, very cool. Another question coming in via the Slido room is about sloths drinking. Do they get a lot of the water from the leaves they eat, or do they have to drink some water as well?
That's a great question. They don't drink water in the wild as like other animals. This means that they don't go to any bodies of water like a lake or like a river, because doing this, it will be really risky for them. So most of the water intake that they get is from leaves.
All right, very cool. So I'm going to open things up in the Slido room one more time. We're going to rock one more little question to wrap things up. This is more like a word cloud, though. I want you to pick at home one word to sum up today's sloth event. What is one word that you would use to sum up today's event? Maybe it is sloth. Maybe it is amazing. Maybe it's conservation. Let's see what word that our audience chooses to sum up today's event. While we wait a few seconds for that, Daniel, let's grab another question here. Ooh, I like this one. Marie is wondering, what is a kinkajou?
All right, so a kinkajou looks like it looks like a arboreal bear, but they are related to the raccoons and the coatis. So although you probably have heard or seen that raccoons and coatis, they mostly stay on the ground, so they're terrestrial. The kinkajous are arboreal, so and they're nocturnal. 90% of the diet is fruits, and the other 10% can be from flowers to some insects. But they're not related to the sloths. Just keep that in mind.
All right, very cool. Let's take a look and see what kind of words we have coming up here. Let's see. Adorable, slotherific. I like that one, Daniel. They made up a new word for us. Slow, incredible, best, interesting, a lot of cute, adorable, awesome, amazing. So I have a feeling that everybody's enjoying this time at the Toucan Rescue Ranch and meeting these amazing animals. One more time, I'm going to pop the link into the live chat. This is the link to the Toucan Rescue Ranch website. Check it out. They do incredible work. Daniel, can you tell us a little bit about where donations go when they come to the Toucan Rescue Ranch? What kind of stuff do you need to keep things running day to day?
Yes, of course. So all the donations that we receive, they go to many places, including feeding. For example, in the ranch, we use half a ton of papaya each week. That's a lot of food, among other things. Obviously, the sloths eat a lot of green beans and carrots. Also, that money goes to the clinic. Since we have a full equipped clinic, we need the resources to make surgeries and treatments. Also, the milk. These guys, when they're really or small, when they're a bit more babies, we give them a lot of goat's milk. So we also need to get that. The toucans, they eat some pellets that are designed for them. And most importantly, the release program. So it's thanks to the donations that we can purchase tracking collars and follow these sloths in the wild. So yeah, it goes to many places, but the main goal, and it goes to that, to rehabilitate them and to release them back into the wild.
All right, very cool. Well, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to our YouTube audience. Thank you so much for the awesome questions, for taking some time to learn with us today. Thank you for taking part in our quizzes and live games here. That was a lot of fun today. And Daniel, thank you for everything that you and the Toucan Rescue Ranch are doing to help protect Costa Rica's native species. And we can't wait for some more events. We have 3 more events coming up in the next week and a half or so. So we're really excited to take some more virtual field trips to the Toucan Rescue Ranch.
All right, thank you guys for joining in. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks everyone so much. If you want, we do have an event on our main channel right now, feeding the nurse sharks and sawfish at the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada in Toronto. So if you head over to our main channel, you can check out part of that event as well. Thanks so much, Daniel. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, guys.